This is the second time Chicago has hosted this mid-season classic.
Yeah, you go back to 1973. That's when they hosted their first one. The East won it 104-84 back then. That was the lowest combined score in an All-Star game, Kevin, since the 1950s.
We'll see if then tonight, Clark, they can surpass that total.
I would think they could. No shortage of scores on either side. I expect an up-tempo, fast-paced game, an exciting game with plenty of highlights and buckets.
Cannot wait. And your West All-Stars, Fat Lever and Magic Johnson, the guards, Alex English and Karl Malone at the forward spots, and in the middle, Hakeem Olajuwon. For the East, it's Moses Malone inside and Dominique Wilkins with Larry Bird the forwards. And in the backcourt, Isaiah Thomas and Michael Jordan.
And you look at Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, rivals since college. Early on, no love lost between them, but over time, they've become friends.
Here's Johnson. Rebound by the East All-Stars. Bird looking it over. Thomas up top. Left side, Jordan. That one falls, coming off of Thomas's feet. Clark, you see Larry and Magic together in those Converse ads. They've become really the faces of the NBA.
And, Kevin, I think they've inherited the mantle from the great Dr. J. He's done such a great job representing the league all these years, and certainly he's left it in good hands with those two.
Yeah, that's a great comparison. And plenty of subplots to this game. For more, let's send it over to David Aldridge. D.A., take it away.
Thanks very much. Now, this story has never gone away over the years, guys. Isaiah Thomas is, of course, a native Chicagoan, but you'll still hear some boos today from Bulls fans. That's because at that All-Star game a couple of years ago, people questioned whether Isaiah froze out Michael Jordan. Some people still believe it. Guys, back to you.
Yeah, that story has not gone away. Thank you, David. For what it's worth, Clark, Isaiah Thomas denies there was a freeze-out, and Jordan himself says, I never said it, so what do you think?
But the reality is, we probably never will know the full story.
And Michael Jordan winning the dunk contest yesterday, Clark. Can he add to his trophy case tonight?
Kevin, I think his teammates want to see him win the MVP. I think they're going to give him as many touches as he needs to have a chance to do it.
Ooh, that'll be fun to watch. Hey, Clark, the record for points in the All-Star game is 42, set by Wilt Chamberlain back in the 1962 All-Star game.
And, you know, a lot of Wilt's records seem virtually untouchable, but I don't think that one is. With all these great scores, who knows? It might be broken tonight.
Oh, wouldn't that be fun? Here's Jordan. Nice spin off the left rim and in. Jordan's got 6 points. And if there was a snub, Clark, for this year's All-Star game, many felt it was the sharpshooter Dale Ellis of the Sonics.
Well, you take a look at what he's done. He's the only top 10 scorer in the NBA who was not an All-Star.
The Tennessee Volunteers should be here.
And making his All-Star debut in his third year in the league, Karl Malone, one of 4 players in the NBA, averaging over 20 points and 10 rebounds a game.
And the Eastern All-Stars favored to win tonight.
Star power and firepower, veteran IQ and smarts, but you never know. The West has quite a bit of talent, too.
Indeed, they do. Wilkins finds Thomas. Now here's Bird. Good ball movement here by the East. Here's Jordan. The vision of Larry Bird is not to be overlooked. Harkin amidst this all-star celebration, labor negotiations between the players and the NBA continue.
Trying to find their way through this current impasse, Kevin, and looking to avoid any interruptions to this game that we all have a love affair with.
Yeah, I know you and I hope they can find some common ground.
Please make it happen soon. You know, people said Alex English was too light of frame, too skinny, not athletic enough. Well, how about this? He's playing in the 7th straight All-Star game. So much for being too skinny.
There's got to be some excitement, maybe even, Clark, some butterflies playing in the All-Star game. You want to prove you belong out there.
I agree with that, and there can also be the temptation to try to do a little too much, maybe get flashy, but with these players still getting a feel for each other in the flow, a lot to be said for making the simple play.
Nevertheless, a great honor.
You know, Thomas plays the game with such an edge and attitude and great confidence, and I think that gives him an edge out there on the court. He's always willing to go the extra mile.
Here's what the East is going with right now. Doherty's checked in for Malone. And Patrick Ewing is subbed in for Bird. And James Worthy here in Clark, his third All-Star game.
Yeah, I was part of the '82 draft when Worthy was the #1 pick out of North Carolina. He can hurt you on the block as well as in transition.
So refresh our memories. He was #1. Where were you taken?
I was #8, Kevin.
That's right.
#8.
That's right. I knew that. I just want you to boast a little bit. Abdul-Jabbar passes to Drexler. Johnson outside. Doherty grabs the board.
Well, I cannot believe he didn't capitalize there, and neither can he.
From deep, Jordan. He doesn't hit that one. And so it's the East All-Star with a 6-point lead at the end of the quarter. Shooting the ball so well in this one. A great performance from the field. And we'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everyone, to the 1988 All-Star Game here in Chicago. As these great fans hope Michael Jordan can bring home the win and the MVP hardware. The East leading by 6.
And the head coach of the East, Mike Fratello, his first time coaching in the All-Star game.
And starting last season, Clark, Michael Jordan's scoring went through the roof.
Averaging over 37 points per game, partner, and he's kept close to that pace this season as well. Remarkable.
Amazing and remarkable, right. Wow. On the court right now as the second quarter starts for the West All-Stars. They've got McDaniel. Magic Johnson is out there with Drexler. Then there's Worthy. And it's Abdul-Jabbar in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. And denied. He sends it right off the glass. Doherty dishes to Jordan. Over Drexler. On the mark with the 15-footer. Jordan's got the lead up to 10 now for the East All-Stars. How about that? Mike's a terrific friend of yours and mine, and Fratello's Hawks recently moved into first place in the East after the Cavs beat the Celtics. Clark enabling him to become the coach of the East All-Star.
So don't be surprised if the Cavs' Brad Doherty gets extended minutes in his first All-Star appearance. You scratch my back, I scratch yours.
And here early, Clark, the East has the edge.
You look at that team on the East squad, an embarrassment of riches, Kevin, and you know, they've got so many weapons. I think it simply comes down to execution for them.
And then Johnson with the dunk. And tonight's All-Star MVP will have a $5,000 check presented in their name, Clark, to the Thurgood Marshall Black Education Fund.
A great cause in honor of a terrific American.
Out of bounds, it'll be the West All-Stars ball.
Not sure what he was thinking about with that pass. Just sailed it right out of bounds.
Larry Bird's checked in for Doherty. The West also making some changes. Malone's checked in for Worthy, and Aguirre's subbed in for McDaniel. And Kareem looking to set the career record for All-Star scoring. Isn't that something?
It really is. Needs just 10 points to do it, Kevin, and you gotta love his chances. I mean, that's a layup for him, pun intended.
Yeah, a good one. And if there's a rival for the size and athleticism of Michael Jordan, Clark, it might just be Clyde Drexler.
I don't think there's any question about it, Kevin. The Phi Slamma Jamma alum can take flight with the very best of them.
Yep, great athlete. And it's Rivers with the rebound.
That's a quality shot right there. It just didn't fall for him.
Jordan inside. Aguirre covering, and it's Jordan, that time on the assist by Rivers. And Michael Jordan, not only last season's leading scorer by a mile, but Clark Kellogg this season, he is in the running for the Defensive Player of the Year.
He is the true definition of a two-way player. Gets it done at a high level at both ends.
Malone's checked in for the East. McHale comes in for Dominique Wilkins. Then for the West All-Stars, Olajuwon's checked in for Abdul-Jabbar, and Lever's subbed in for Johnson. Lever, the pass to Olajuwon. Here's a player over Bird. And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot two. It's on Larry Bird.
And you know, so far I like the effort from both teams. It's an exhibition, but each team showing great pride. They're getting after it.
And Clark, so much talent for each side, but they got to develop that chemistry on the fly, don't they?
Exactly, and that's what the coaches will be looking for down the stretch. Which group of players really complement one another and give you the best chance to win?
Thomas checked in for Rivers. Now, here's Jordan. 18 points for him.
Jordan's got a lot of flash to his game. A terrific guard, loves getting tricky with his ball handling and creating shots for himself. And Coach Mike Fratello, a colleague of ours, coaching in the All-Star game, standing tall amongst a bunch of tall guys in the NBA. You know, his dad was an amateur boxer, and, you know, I think that background gives Mike a lot of confidence as a coach. Hey, it's as plain as pound cake. Keep it simple. They want to see how big this league can get.
Pass to Malone. Here is Olajuwon. Olajuwon with incredible footwork for a big man. And Clark, when you look at Hakeem Olajuwon's Houston Rockets, here is a team making a lot of moves.
I tell you what, their trade for Joe Barry Carroll and Sleepy Floyd paying huge dividends. They're certainly on the rise in my mind.
Yeah, a lot of people like those moves. So the timeout taken here, the first for the West All-Stars. And the East All-Stars making a change here. Ewing's checked in. We've got 1:08 left here in the second. And Clark, not easy for these coaches to put their stamp on the game. Only a 1-hour practice yesterday to get acquainted and move through some sets.
And you know, Kevin, it's not about necessarily practice time. A few offensive sets is all that's needed. I think it's how you manage the players and give them a platform to have fun and do what they do.
That's a good point. Thomas dishes to McHale. And here's Jordan outside. The rebound by Malone. Malone's got his fourth rebound with that last one here tonight. Oh, and they get in the way of the alley-oop. Not to be. Good play defensively. McHale kicks to Thomas. Good ball movement here by the East. Out of bounds, it'll be the West All-Stars ball.
West All-Stars ball.
You gotta love strong defense, especially when it comes in the form of harsh rejections. Wow.
Superb anticipation on that rejection, and that'll allow them to stay on the lead if they keep defending like that.
English, he's checked in for the West. The West trails by 8. Lever taking his time here. Five on the clock. Passes it to Olajuwon. A fadeaway. Here's Malone. And the last second attempt doesn't fall. Michael Jordan getting it done for the East All-Stars. He has really delivered at the offensive end. He's torched them for 24 points so far. And we've got more M2K Sports coming your way after this break. And we welcome you back to the second half of the 1988 All-Star Game here in Chicago. Great performances from these players, whether it's their first time participating or their 17th. And here's Thomas, who brings it up for the East All-Stars.
You know, you get into the latter stages of the game, and it's normal to wonder who will take home the MVP trophy. It's certainly one of those accolades that's mentioned when you talk about the great ones.
Bird is out there at Malone. Then it's Wilkins. Then there's Thomas. And it's Jordan in at the shooting guard position. So that's the 5 in the game for the East All-Stars. And for a report on the center position, we take you over to David Aldridge.
Thank you, Kevin. Now, one of the big stories this weekend is the matchup of Moses Malone and Hakeem Olajuwon. Of course, Moses helped Hakeem a lot when he was starting in the game. He worked with him down in Houston in the summertime on low post moves and how to really rebound the basketball. Now we see the torch being passed from one of the all-time greats to a future all-time great. Kevin, back to you.
That's a good story, D.A., and there is that handoff, which is so historic to watch. Hakeem Olajuwon, by the way, Clark, got the third most all-star votes this year.
Which indicates how much the fans are beginning to recognize and appreciate his excellence. There's a reason that Olajuwon was drafted ahead of Michael Jordan. He's got a lot of game and clearly on his way to being one of the all-time greats. And in this day and age, you've got to have a dominant center to be able to compete for championships.
He is indeed a very special player. You're right. Here's Thomas.
You know, there's been talk about adding a third referee to NBA games. The commissioner and the rules committee are in favor of it, and they plan to put it before the board of governors at the next meeting. How about this list? Players who have never missed an all-star game in their careers. Jerry West, Bob Pettit, Larry Bird, Isaiah Thomas, and Hakeem Olajuwon. Those last three playing here tonight.
And Clark, with three officials working games, do you think that'll result in more fouls being called, more eyes on the ball? They can pick up a lot more, certainly, with more guys out there.
Yeah, you know, I think, Kevin, it might be the case early on with the third official, but over time, it'll smooth itself out. Off the ball, you know, some things you could get away with in the past, maybe not so much with three officials out there.
And the East with the lead.
Living up to that favored and top billing and giving these fans quite a show.
This is his first free throw of the game.
2 shots.
And he knocks down the first one.
Known as being a top-tier rebounder, Malone is a commanding presence on both ends and a very valuable part of this team.
Here's what the East is going with right now. Brad Daugherty, he's checked in for Bird. Ainge comes in for Wilkins, and it's Rivers in for Thomas. Donaldson, he's checked in for the West. Worthy comes in for English. Lever, the pass to Malone. Good on the baseline, Jay. Malone's got 8 points.
And the 6'9" forward, Karl Malone, out of Louisiana Tech, playing for the Utah Jazz. Tonight, he's wearing number 7 to honor the great Pete Maravich, who himself was a 3-time All-Star with the New Orleans Jazz.
Well, if Jordan is going for that scoring record, Clark, he's running out of time.
You know, I think at this point, Kevin, he can't worry about the record. Just try to get the win. There's always next year to get the numbers.
Now here's Rivers, following the miss by Pat Lever, and he comes up with the deuce.
And, you know, they said Brad Daugherty was too soft when he came into the league. Well, an all-star in year 2 and now regarded as a top 3 center in the league. Well, sometimes they get it wrong in their scouting reports.
And this is his first trip to the line tonight.
Magic Johnson, shooting 1.
And the technical free throw is good.
You know, the combination of size, speed, and length that Johnson has, really pretty unique for a point guard.
Ewing's checked in for the East. Then for the West All-Stars, Abdul-Jabbar comes in for Karl Malone. And it's Drexler in for Lever. Now, here's Drexler. It's Worthy, top of the key. There's the pass to Johnson. 6 on the shot clock. Over Jordan. The West again cannot hit.
And, you know, most of these guys are accustomed to having their team's offense built around them. It's an adjustment for them now to figure out who's going to get the rock most of the time. And perhaps the coach lit a fire under them at halftime because they have owned this third quarter.
Pass to Drexler. 59 seconds left to play in the third. Down low, Abdul-Jabbar. And Kareem, the elder statesman. 19 years in the NBA. Decades of dominance. Rivers passes to Jordan. Ewing. The size and aggression of Patrick Ewing inside.
And with Patrick Ewing leading the way, the New York Knicks finally competitive again. The big man has quickly found a rapport with rookie point guard Mark Jackson. They are a team on the rise. Book that.
Drexler kicks to Abdul-Jabbar. Worthy feeling it out a bit. Here's Drexler. Doesn't get it to drop for him. So the East All-Stars will take it the other way. 2 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. Ewing trying to get open. Doherty with the bucket.
And Doherty's so fundamentally sound as a pivot man for the Cavaliers. I mean, he's got excellent footwork, tremendous touch. He's a gifted passer. He's what you want in a center.
Worthy finds Abdul-Jabbar. And the shot goes down.
And Kareem at 40. Still handling his business, getting it done. 15 points a game on 54% shooting from the field for a 40-year-old. That is excellent production from the center position.
And so it's the East All-Stars with a 21-point lead to end the quarter. The scoring has been tremendous, and they are shooting lights out with very high accuracy. We'll take a quick break and then back to the action here. Welcome back to Chicago for the 1988 All-Star Game. The grand finale of what's been a tremendous weekend to celebrate the NBA.
You take a look at the landscape of the NBA, and I tell you what, that Central Division, dominant. How about this? 36 games above 500 combined.
On the court for the West All-Stars, English is out there at Malone. Then it's Lever. Then it's Olajuwon. And it's Johnson in at the point. And so it's Johnson who brings the ball up for the West. Well, you look at that Central Division, all 6 teams on pace to make the playoffs.
And, you know, Chicago got off to that great start, Kevin. Then they cooled off just a bit. Now tied with Detroit at 3 games behind Atlanta. Those teams are breaking up pretty good.
Down the stretch here, the East, Clark out in front.
Getting it done. It's been such a fun game to watch. Entertaining from both sides.
Whew, it sure has been. Pass to Malone. Back to Johnson. And foul on the shot, so he'll get a chance at the line.
Johnson's length makes him hard to deal with inside, which is why he's able to draw fouls.
And some changes here for the East. Moses Malone, he's checked in for Ewing, and Thomas subbed in for Rivers. So Johnson hits 2 of them. We've played just over 1 minute here in the 4th quarter. To the paint. Outside for Thomas. Pass to Jordan. Over Johnson. The East All-Stars check on 2 more.
And after the Central Division, the Midwest has been the 2nd most competitive division. Those teams are sitting at 10 games over 500.
Magic Johnson delivers passes with such pinpoint accuracy. Wow.
And, you know, before every game, Karl Malone calls his mother back in Summerfield, Louisiana, to ask what numbers he should shoot for. Tonight, she said go for 25 and 11.
Jordan with the bucket. Jordan's got 36. And Clark in the Midwest, those Rockets are really making a push.
And they're doing it behind Hakeem Olajuwon. To me, he's the best center in the NBA. They certainly got a chance to give the Lakers a run for their money.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad we got a chance to check out that fantastic drive one more time. Thomas finds Bird. Here's Jordan. Big play by Bird to set it up. Bird's got his 3rd assist on the night.
I think Jordan could do this all day long. I mean, the mid-range area is a very comfortable area for him.
Back to Johnson. Olajuwon left side. And Magic Johnson continuing to orchestrate beautifully.
It all started with the pass. That's what coaches love to see, ball movement.
The East leading by 21. Around 3 minutes gone here in the 4th quarter. English against Wilkins. Dishes it to Jordan.
2 minutes remaining in the game.
Down to 5 on the shot clock. Sinks that one from the post. Jordan's got 40 points. And Jordan Clark within reach of the record.
He's almost there. Keep that pedal to the metal is what I say.
Now a timeout called by the West All-Stars. They're behind by 23. 1:56 left in the fourth. A big group substitution here for the East. Brad Doherty, he's checked in for Malone. McHale comes in for Bird. Danny Ainge is checked in for Wilkins. And Cheeks is subbed in for Thomas. Outside, Aguirre. Here's McDaniel. Drexler outside. All alone. And he connects with the jumper.
And at 26 points per game, Drexler ranks 7th in the league in scoring. His Blazers playing catch up with the Lakers, though. Their improved defense has helped them overcome some early injuries.
And Michael Jordan now with 42 points, Clark. He has tied the record for scoring in an all-star game.
A piece of history. Boy, is he special.
Floats one up. And it's the East with the rebound. 1:16 left here in the fourth quarter. Here's McHale. The East All-Stars check on 2 more.
This is the 4th All-Star game for the Celtics' Kevin McHale. Kids at home who want to learn how to score in the post, just put the isolated camera on Kevin McHale, please. Moves on top of moves in the paint. You know, the alley-oop is a 2-part play, folks. It takes a great pass, but it's much easier to execute the pass when you're throwing it to Clyde Drexler. The glide, getting up and down.
Outside, Aguirre. Now the pass to Drexler. He takes it in. Clyde Drexler, soaring in for the finish.
And enjoying his finest pro season, Clyde the Glide Drexler making his 2nd All-Star appearance. Worked over the summer with Kiki Vandeweghe to substantially improve his jump shot. While in the act, Cheeks draws the foul. What a high IQ player he is. I think he'd make a terrific coach someday.
East All-Stars.
First free throw is good. The West All-Stars making a switch here. Johnson's checked in. He hits both from the stripe.
Mo Cheeks, you know, is as crafty a player as there is in the league. Makes good decisions with the ball just about all the time. And on defense, he can pick you apart.
And in his 8th season in the NBA, James Donaldson making Clark his first All-Star appearance.
And you know, Kevin, before his NBA career, he actually played his first professional season in Italy. So he's taken the path less traveled for sure.
He said, "Arrivederci" to Italy to come to the NBA.
Yes, he did.
Drexler finds Johnson. Here's Donaldson. And that one is hammered home. And the 7-2 center from the Mavericks, James Donaldson.
You know, I think he's the only lefty in this game.
And it's a new single-game record in scoring for the All-Star game, set right in front of us by Michael Jordan.
What an incredible athlete, Kevin, and it seems whatever he sets his mind to do, he can do it. Impressive.
First personal foul. Second team foul. Substitution on the court.
And the Eastern All-Stars deliver. The favorites coming in. Clark, they did not disappoint.
Yeah, you looked at that team on paper and you saw they were the stronger team and should have been favored, but you still...
Thanks for coming out to support your teams. Make sure to get home safely, and we'll see you at the next sporting event.